So anyway, and I'll have to do my hair before I go on the podcast. Dee Dee Drinks with Dee Dee. It's on every podcast thing, and we're talking about the American Revolution and Independence Day. So today I took receipt of my Boba Fett 6-inch deluxe action figure from Hasbro. It's pretty cool. I got to set him up with his rifle, and the hands on the 6-inch action figures are hard. By the way, the reason why my hair looks besotted and sodden is because it's raining the hell out right now. I also took, afternoon, Jeremy, I also took possession of this. As you guys know, I collect stuff from Hollywood, memorabilia, magazines, interviews, and stuff, because it's a good way to remind people this is what they actually said back in the day. So it's a Life magazine from 1987, April, so, and it's the 100th. The stars celebrate Hollywood at Paramount's 75th anniversary. Hey, Bill. So if you look at this, you know who they all are. We've got Tom Cruise, Molly Ringwald. We got Timothy Hutton, or Timothy, yeah. We've got Deborah. Oh shit. Deborah Winger. Let's see. Faye Dunaway. Robert De Niro. Okay. And gee, look who's there. Huh? You know why I bought it now. And it's very interesting. There isn't really. He's in a picture in the back with Elizabeth Taylor. And if you could have heard me, I was like, run, Harry, run, run, run for your life. I think she was with that blonde builder dude, the welder or whatever he was, Larry Fortensky, or, I mean, he wasn't exactly, her style, but I don't think they've got all the families in here, but weirdly, and there's another really cool picture in here too, and I'll find it. It's way, way in the back. Oh, there they are. God, she looks like she's gonna eat him. Run for your life. But here it is. I mean, if you could, I can't tell you who they all are, but when you're looking at this, it's just really, I mean, that's a lot of history right there. That's the golden age. That's both golden ages, from the 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and the 80s. I mean, this is something. So it's really cool. They got James Bond at 25, Snow White at 50, and Hollywood at 100. Hard to believe it's 100 years old. And I guess it needs a renaissance, so maybe we're gonna get one. Anyway, I want to remind you guys, yes, there are at least 3 new Star Wars shows, I think beyond the one I talked about yesterday. They're going to start filming in England in next year in 2022. So far, no word if any of them is The Acolyte. And I know the one that's coming up in October is definitely not. It could be Ahsoka, but I don't think it is, because they're probably going to film Ahsoka close to home. And that just makes sense to me. I don't know, though. I mean, whatever. They do have a volume studio, though, in London, so they could if they wanted to. All right. So, anyway, we can speculate all we want, but think about it, what shows were they really talking about? We've got Rangers of the New Republic, which has been shelved, taken out of development. We've got Ahsoka. We've got Lando. We've got probably quite a few they haven't even talked about. Remember, Kennedy said nothing about the Book of Boba Fett. Nothing. Okay. They could take Lando and turn it into Han Solo. Okay. I know the SJWs in Hollywood will be angry, but fuck them. Did anybody see Quentin Tarantino's interview yesterday with Joe Rogan? And how the SJWs are screaming that, he didn't respect Bruce Lee. And he explained why the character that Brad Pitt played and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood could actually beat him in that instance. They were playing 2 out of 3. And he fell once. And Brad Pitt's character pretty much figures that if he's going to probably try the same move on me, and I'll be able to defeat him, and he did. He grabbed him and threw him into a car. Okay, here's a rule of thumb. If you get a guy that's bigger than you, and he's stronger than you are, and Brad Pitt, that character he played was actually probably stronger than Bruce Lee. He actually was a barehanded killer. I mean, the character he played was basically a quasi special operator helping the Filipino resistance against the Japanese. So when he drops into that military hand-to-hand combat thing, hey, gingerbread man, a gingerbeard, sorry, Bruce Lee realizes he's going to kill me. This guy plays for keeps. Bruce Lee never did that in his whole life. He played to win. Okay, there's a difference. Match martial arts and you're on a mission. There's a guy standing there. You got to get past him, and you might be one of the few people in the world that can break a guy's neck with his bare hands. All right. There are Navy SEALs that can do that. There are Delta operators that can do that. There are SAS guys, British SAS guys that can do that. There are Mossad agents. I know that can do that. Hell, those fuckers, they all probably can. So basically, Tarantino said Bruce Lee never respected the American stuntmen. And he would do anything he could to he really hit him. He'd tag him. And he was like, suck a dick. I was laughing. And he was right. Okay. He didn't disrespect Bruce Lee. He showed him as he was. And I don't think there's anything wrong with showing people for who they are if you're doing a bio. Just me. I don't know. Anyway, so that was a really good interview, and I think you guys should watch it. Because if Tarantino quits movie making, that's going to be a big loss to the industry, and it's going to be a loss to creativity everywhere. But what he said on Bill Maher was true. I mean, their politics are ruining the film industry. Okay, and that's something that Hollywood maybe should take an interest in not doing anymore. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so what are the movies or the TV shows? Because this place I'm talking about in England is huge. It's going to be, I think maybe the biggest studio in England, bigger than Elstree, bigger than Shepperton, bigger than Pinewood. Okay, and Disney's got it. It's huge. Okay, they are hiring crew now, artists, draftsmen, art directors that can, because they've got concept art. I like to see the concept art. Okay, so if you're there and you can get your hands on it, I'd like to see it. Not like Mike Zero, who lies about seeing it. I'd like to see it because I'd like to know kind of where this is going, because what I've been told, this is UK, from the UK. They're pulling crews from Andor because it's almost done filming. They're pulling crews from Obi-Wan for this one that's going to start maybe in October, if they're done with the sets. And it sounds like they're building some huge fucking sets. Okay. I'm going to say this, that it sounds like to me like they might be building ships. And if we get a picture of like a photograph of the Millennium Falcon being built, I know it's going to be a Han Solo retcon of that fucking movie. I know it. I just got a gut feeling. You guys saw the thumbnail. If you hear what, if you hear what Chapek said in that moment, and I think it was what, Tamara Lynch, it wasn't the, yeah, no, it was the phone, it was the investor's call. If you hear what he said in the moment, that was the biggest Freudian slip ever. That is why I think there's this Han Solo TV show coming. Okay. He basically said it. Now, is it a continuation of Solo, a Soy War story? No. No. I don't think it is. And I think them bringing out Mousy and trotting her around with their hideous comic book is her trying to get attention. I honestly think it's going to be a retcon, if they have to retcon that, because you can't get people to watch a TV show based on a movie that failed so miserably. Okay. Based on something with bad memory. You got to get a new cast. You have to have new people, new writers, which I know they do. I'll be right back. And other things. You like that ugly plant behind me? It's up on there because the dog tried to eat it. You got to go in a different direction. And like I said this afternoon, I can't see Jon Favreau walking out of Solo and being happy with what he saw. Hey Maze. Maze Rose is in the house. I got my Boba Fett, my 6-inch Boba Fett, and I got this today. April 1987. Let's see, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 8 months before I got sick. Think about it. So yeah, I was still dreaming of being one of those people. Anyway, pretty cool though. Very cool though. I mean, it's a cool magazine. I mean, I'll take pictures of some of the stuff in behind. I mean, let me show, since Maze didn't get to see it. Oh, well, here's this. Look at the look on her face. That's why I'm screaming. I think we're going to see versions of the classic books. I know we're getting a form of Heir to the Empire. I know that there are people out there that don't care. Again, fundamentalists annoy me. But here's a picture, Maze. Now, we talked about this. We've actually seen this before online. But here it is in the magazine. See William Shatner? Yeah, that was Elizabeth Taylor. But isn't this cool? Is that Leonard Nimoy? I think it is. I mean, Andy Griffith and Charlton Heston. It's just so cool. Yeah, I see Olivia de Havilland. I mean, it's history. It's it's what Hollywood used to be. People actually wanted to be there to make movies, and we really had leading men and women, and We had real actresses. We didn't have, I mean, I don't really remember Faye Dunaway going out bitching about 40-year-old fans. You know, I don't remember that because she would never do that anyway. She'd be like, the fuck, you know, yeah, that was Elizabeth Taylor, and that was, you remember that haircut she had? Those are White Diamonds era. I use these for luck. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. She's a cool lady. I mean, Carrie Fisher talking about her after the thing with Carrie's dad, because we all know what happened with that, blew over, and Debbie and Elizabeth ending up being friends. It's a very interesting dynamic, but still, she's looking at Harrison Ford like she would eat him. It's like, run, 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 Harry, don't look back, run, run. I mean, yeah, I think back in the day, she'd have done, she'd have done what she had to get him. She would have tried anyway. She was, I mean, that woman was a man eater. She really was. Cool lady, but I think you don't want to go with her. Why? Are you kidding? you know, but yeah, it's just a great magazine. And I mean, I'm going to say this, Hollywood has always been weird, but damn it, there are some cool people in it. I mean, that picture's got Gregory Peck. It's got Charlton Heston. It's got Victor Mature. It's got Robert Stack. My nephew met him. I would have given any money to meet Robert Stack. Robert Stack, Christopher called me and he goes, I just met an actor who was just like Papa, our dad. And started talking to me about him. And I'm like, there were some really interesting guys and gals that were back in the day, and there still are, but they're not. I mean, now we've got celebrities, and I mean, these are fucking movie stars. This is a movie star. This is a movie star. That is a movie star. That, I don't know, I mean, Tom Cruise is a movie star, but when I think about him and all the bullshit, he's more of a celebrity anymore, and it's different. To me, it's being a celebrity is just, having all your white trash shit out in public so everybody can see it. But anyway, so we've got, I think I sent Maze that article about the studio being built. And basically it's going to be Disney's Hive for London. And I really think a lot of stuff is going to be there. Oh, and James Mangold, they're still shooting. They're on shooting schedule. And I've seen a lot of people go off on people about Harrison Ford getting injured, saying it's going to be 5 weeks, leave him alone. Okay, and they're right. They're right. If you honestly think you're doing the guy a favor by being fake concerned, you're not, because you don't know anything about the guy. I'm going to say this. This is a rule of thumb. Guys like that have to decide on their own. Your faux concern, it doesn't work. It's not going to work on them. Okay? It's really, really not. So anyway, you stop it. Okay? I honestly think this movie's going to be good despite Kathy Kennedy, and I think Cameron Pasha would agree with me. I don't think she's got a lot of power over this movie. I really, really don't. The only thing that Valiant Renegade kind of brought up that, if Harry's got to get wounded to hurt her, I mean, if he has to take one for the team, cause her angst and pain, good. But I still hate the idea of him getting hurt, but it's also, he's Harrison Ford. It's going to happen. I mean, how many of these sets has he been hurt on? He was hurt doing Raiders. He had that airplane roll up on his knee. All they did was spit into a handful of sand, rub the sand on it, wrapped it up, and he went on. And then he got home and had his knee scoped. And then, in Temple of Doom, we all know what happened. That movie was delayed 6 weeks. Well, he went back and got his back fixed. Okay. And then he broke his foot when a hydraulic door of the Millennium Falcon fell on it. You know, it's not Pinewood Studios. It's just, an accident will find him. Okay. It's just, and he's a physically brave guy. Okay. And back in the day, he did as many of his own stunts as they'd let him. I mean, Vic Armstrong was like, we have to talk him down from the ledge. That he can't, no, you're not, no, you're not. The insurance people have to tell him not to. I mean, and that was back when he was in his, early 40s, 50s, all right? He's not going to stop. I mean, when you're watching him ride horses, like in the movie Cowboys versus Aliens, that's him. He's on that black quarter horse. Okay. The guy is basically the John Wayne of his era. Okay. Think about it. You try telling him he's got to quit. Try it. Okay. Anyway, enough on that. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So what do you guys think? I mean, think about all the shows that they announced last December and think about what they could be doing, because I can't see 3 shows going into simultaneous production that would be up there except for Ahsoka, and I think they're going to be doing Ahsoka here in the States. The Acolyte, to be honest, could be one of them. And, I brought this up, Maze, Troy, if you're still there, you guys might want to kind of back me up on this or tell me if I'm wrong. We might actually be seeing something that they agreed to in Kennedy's go away, go bye-bye contract with the Acolyte. That might be one of the deals, okay? Kind of like Indy 5, okay? It might be one of the deals to make her leave. I don't know. I hope it's not. Because I can't imagine, let's say like Rangers of the New Republic is made. Okay. Gina comes back, or they get Ronda Rousey to play Cara Dune. And they should. I mean, why wait around? And so we got that going on. And it's like, we got Lando being filmed. But I don't think that's going to make it. I have a feeling that is going to, again, turn into something else. Okay. We do have the Book of Boba Fett. It wrapped. It's in pre-production. I can't wait for a trailer. That is going to be fucking awesome. Yeah, I think, the more I think about it, I can't imagine, if Doomcock is right, and there's no reason to think he's not, I can't imagine Doomcock or Favreau and Filoni being wanting to make this. I can't. I can't imagine the money guys at Disney going, yeah, good money after bad. The investors will love it. So there's a reason why we might be getting the Acolyte. It won't be seen. Nobody will want to see it. The only one that's going to watch it is Pablo Hidalgo, as he's comfort eating because he doesn't have a job and can't get one. Of course, I drive around and I see, Starbucks is hiring. These guys can get jobs anywhere, so they're really okay. They're just not going to work in the movie business. Hey, Deborah Young, how you doing? Hey, all right, again, Troy read that fan fiction and liked it. I've sent it out to some other people. Yeah, they could, but if it's in the agreement, she might throw a fit. All right, that's the thing. If it's in a legal agreement that they have to make it, and that's one of her projects that has to be done, they might have to anyway. Legally, I don't. I'm not. I'm brainstorming right now. But the kerfuffle going on with the High Republic or the Acolyte, it looks like to me that they know, Hedlund probably knows a lot about what's going on at Lucasfilm and is terrified they'll pull the plug. And by rights they should. If there's new leadership there, I don't know anything about Mohsen Gupta. No, they can almost make the Acolyte not even Star Wars. If they wanted to. All right. They could make the Acolyte not Star Wars at all. So, in that sense, if you're thinking about it that way, hey, then, more power to them. No one's going to watch it anyway. And it doesn't affect the franchise. It doesn't affect Indiana Jones. It doesn't affect Willow or anything else. They might branch off and turn into a thing. It's just on its own and it crashes and burns and goes away and no one ever hears about it again. I really think Hedlund should probably concentrate on making stuff like Russian Doll. She really doesn't seem the kind of person that could and that should be doing Hollywood movies. Yeah, if they didn't, I wouldn't care. I'm not going to watch it, but they remove it completely away from the franchise. They could do that. I mean, Bob Chapek could talk to Braverman and Favreau and Filoni and Mohsen Gupta and then say to Leslie Hedlund and that racist cow, Rain Roberts, here's the deal. You can make your show. Well, we're going to give you a little budget. It's not going to be Star Wars. All right. We're not doing that timeline. It's not canon. But here's, there you go for a pilot. Give them enough money for a pilot. And if it doesn't work, shit can it. I mean, if there's no agreement for an entire series, and that's the issue. I don't know, but I've heard 5 weeks. I think that people are pulling their information from trash sources. And I think it's all the same source, and all these other people are just pulling it up and saying and running with it like it's theirs. So I'm like, and I'm not talking about the YouTubers that I've reported on. I'm talking about The Sun, New York Post. Despite my grudging admiration for Rupert Murdoch and the fact that the New York Post is a readable paper, it still is a muckraker. It's muckraking journalism at times. Page 6 is trash. All right. It shouldn't be in a. If you want to have a respected newspaper, you shouldn't have anything to do with gossip. That should be the Inquirer, the Globe, Us Weekly, People, the Star. You know what I'm saying? Closer, whatever. Oh, part of me thinks she's just doing it to be a bitch. All right, that Hedlund is trolling us. Okay. She knows that we know what she is. She knows that we know where she came from. She knows that we know that what she wants to do is trash. And she knows it's trash. Here's the deal. She knows nothing about Star Wars. She hires people who don't know anything about Star Wars. Rain Roberts is a diversity hire. Fucking care about Star Wars. She has no fucks to give. Okay? Think about it. All right? Um, you know, it's not being received well. I know for a fact that they have to know, Disney has to know, that the Acolyte's not being received well. I also know that Disney now knows that following Twitter's marching orders is a stupid idea. You know, they hire these millennial marketing people who have absolutely no fucking clue at all. I gotta get a drink. I'll be right back. Something, because after this, I'm going on Drinks with Dee Dee. Dee Dee Sorvino is the wife of the eminent Italian actor Paul Sorvino. And she and I met on Facebook and we're friends. And she's scaring me to death with things like, let's all go on a trip to Iceland. La la la. And I'm like, you know, so I'm going on there, we're talking about Independence Day. We just get drunk and it ends up being, we all go off on a tangent. It's funny, but I'll be right back. But ultimately, see, I'm not drinking yet. I got some good wine, so we'll see what it's like. Ultimately, you know, all right, what was my, fuck it, I can't remember. Anyway, hey, House Atreides. Yeah, but I think that Hedlund knows. I think everybody knows. And I think that it's something that she's going to have to accept. That's just the way it is. That is the way it's going to be. Okay? It's really, here's the deal. Back in the day, 1987, when this gang were the faces of Hollywood. I mean, the real faces of Hollywood. When Hollywood actually meant something. I mean, when you've got, I mean, there's even a thing with Peter O'Toole in it. When you've got a picture in the back, again, I'll show it for the newbies. This is so cool. Well, here's the Top Gun. I mean, Top Gun came out in '86. I mean, we got, was it Jerry Bruckheimer? Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. Freaking awesome. Jerry Bruckheimer is one of us, by the way. They're just, I mean, they're just awesome. But Hollywood used to be a place of style and vision and dreams. I notice this, I'm going to say this, no Spielberg at all in this thing. And he actually did do movies for Paramount. I mean, Indiana Jones. So it's kind of weird. James Bond. Here, Bernays. Run, Harry, run. Run for your life. Oh God, Elizabeth Taylor's probably, stop that. She probably heard me yell. But we've got, like, look at this. Star Trek, the real Star Trek. Nimoy, Shatner, and DeForest Kelly. You know, I mean, it's just, this is, I mean, Jimmy Stewart, Elizabeth McGovern, It is just, I mean, but that, you know, just Ally McGraw and Ryan O'Neal. God, he was an asshole to her. But I mean, I sent this to Mazurus, if he's still here. But this is just, look at those faces. Charlton Heston, Jimmy Stewart, Andy Griffith. You know, Olivia de Havilland, Tom Cruise. Look how much taller Charlton Heston is than Tom Cruise. Bob Hope, for crying out loud. Victor Mature standing next to him. Then you get over here and there's Robert Stack, John Travolta, Tony Perkins. I mean, there, and of course, here he is. There's William Shatner. There's Burt Lancaster, Scott Baio. And there's, you know, if you go over here and there's Leonard Nimoy. Okay, cool. And Robin Williams, Walter Matthau, Gene Hackman. You know, it's just, you know, awesome. I'm like, you know, that's what Hollywood used to be, and I really wish we could get back to it. I really, here's the deal. A bunch of leftists, and I'm not talking about, It's a Life magazine from 1987, April 1987. You can find it on eBay. Well, it's not just social media, it's how, you know, you got Tom Hanks. He's a Democrat. Barbara Streisand, huge Democrat. Steven Spielberg. We never saw the bullshit that has gone on now. I mean, the stuff that's gone on now didn't go on back then. The people who've gotten in there. Remember when I talked about Michael Ovitz? He ended up running Disney for a while. He also ran one of the big talent agencies. Was considered at one time the most powerful man in Hollywood. Was interviewed and he talked about the gay mafia. Now I'm going to add this. He wasn't just alluding to that. The reason why they got mad at him and why he had to apologize and he lost his job, there's the underlying pedophilia issue. That shit really got going in the 90s. Look at who got to be a big star in the 90s. Kevin Spacey, who got away with shenanigans, actually has gotten away with shenanigans. You know, God knows, he might be a Lord High of the Sith pedo for all we know. I wouldn't hire him to grow grass in my yard. I mean, I wouldn't let him clean my cistern up. He's a fucking bad person and he should be in jail. But, you know, you talk about that and, no, he's not. No, he was never convicted. The cases were dropped. In fact, two of his accusers killed themselves. Richard Dreyfuss's son accused him back in the late 80s. You know, but I think, and this is me, that the real reason why Ovitz got canned wasn't because of the gay mafia thing, because everybody knew it. You could see the changing faces in Hollywood. You were starting to see the rugged looking American man be replaced by rather fat looking guys. You know, like Leonardo DiCaprio, whom I personally can't stand. I hate him. Pretentious little bitch. You know, Brad Pitt, even though he's actually grown into his looks. Yeah, he does. Do you want to know what he's playing? Do I dare tell you what Kevin Spacey's playing in this movie? It's in Europe. where they don't care if you fuck kids or not. Get ready. Sit down. He's playing a cop investigating child molestation. That is the biggest fuck you to the planet I've ever seen in my life. It's not funny. It's not funny. Yeah, he's trolling. He is fucking trolling. He is. If I was somebody like let's say like as powerful as Sherry Lansing or Steven Spielberg, and I was making a movie, and I got a phone call from his agent, who weirdly hasn't dumped him, saying, "Oh, Kevin wants this part," and I'd say, "No, I'm not working with him. Nope." Why? Because he's a child molester. He is the gay version of Harvey Weinstein. No. Now, here's the thing. No, he's not. Hopefully he'll just stay in Europe and he can hang out at Roman Polanski's house, and Polanski can bring in the 13-year-old girls for himself, and their boyfriends, Spacey can go after. So gross. And I'm going to say this. If Sharon Tate had been alive and married to Polanski when all that shit went down, she'd have cut off his dick. All right? She would have cut off his dick, and she'd have crushed him like a grape. That was a hard-ass woman. The more I read about her, she was a smart lady. She wouldn't have put up with that shit. Well, let's try these. The agent might be involved. Who would I want to play me? An unknown, because I can't think of anybody. I mean, back in the day, Michelle Pfeiffer, when she was, rocking and rolling, there's Natasha Henstridge, but yeah, I mean, back in the day, it would have been Michelle Pfeiffer in a heartbeat. I mean, she was fantastic. Kim Basinger, I don't look like her, but I could pretend, wow. But no, if they did a movie about us, they'd fuck us over so bad. I'd be out suing people right and left, and I would do that too. All right. But anyway, so yeah, but this stuff started back then with the feminizing of American men and male leads. And I loved Ray Fiennes, and he has the ability to actually look like a real man. But when you looked at him back in the day, you put Harrison Ford in the same room with him, and it would be like, do you want the obvious beta male or do you want the real man? I know what I want. All right. I mean, Ray Fiennes would have faded into the woodwork. Kevin Costner came in right under the wire, because he's a real guy. And what I like about him is that he has seen the writing on the wall, jumped into Yellowstone, and that show is fucking awesome. It is like Dallas on steroids, but it's better and it's grittier and it's holy shit. There's some shit that goes down in that show. And my favorite quote: "I'm the tornado through your trailer park." When I think of that, I think of Pablo. I think of Kathy. I think of the SJWs. I think of Justina Ireland. I think about Claudia Gray and all the rest of that trash. Yeah, it's a good show. It really, really is. And I like Westerns. So they brought the Western forward and then threw in this kind of soap opera plot that works. I don't like soap operas, but it's pretty good. I mean, you know, and Beth Dutton is just a fucking bitch, but she's cool. She's really cool. Now, her thing with Rip, Cole Hauser, ick. He just, he's not, I like him long, lean, and lanky, and he's kind of built like a tank. And he's got that big puffy face, and I'm like, no, thank you. No. Ha ha. So yeah, I mean, that's a good show, but yeah, this stuff started back in the 90s. Here's the first clue. Remember the movie The English Patient? Great soundtrack. And actually, it was a beautifully made movie, and the story was good. But as someone who studies history and World War II, who gets curious and looks things up because I'm intellectually curious, I walked away going, this is the most nihilistic piece of shit movie I've ever seen in my life. And now I don't like it. Okay? That's the truth. And that was the moment that the shit started happening. Making movies that were meaningless. The meaninglessness of everything. I mean, Jesus, even Tarantino's most violent, why is it nihilistic? Gee, let's bring up a line. Willem Dafoe says to Ralph Fiennes, who's playing Count Almashi, only they don't know who he really is. You gave that map to the Germans and people died. And Almashi says very callously, people did die, just other people. That is nihilism. Right there, that. Basically, the writer, Michael Ondaatje, is telling all of you out there that what your grandfathers fought for was meaningless. Fighting the fucking Nazis was meaningless. Fighting the Imperial Japanese after they enslaved all of Korea, all of it. And they had, God, I think back in 1905 they invaded Korea. So they were there for a long time. Invading China, murdering, pillaging, and raping from China to the Philippines. And what, your grandfathers and fathers did was meaningless? Fuck you. That is a leftist bullshit thing to say. But I've heard Democrats say it. Okay? I said that then. I said that. And then you get into American Beauty. The American traditional families are meaningless. Family life is meaningless. What? I remember having long talks on the old website called Libertas. John Nolte was the guy that actually ran it. And I was just ripping that piece of shit apart. Kevin Spacey was in it. Okay? This is where the nihilism started. So you get in 2007 and you've got a movie like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, old school movie making, old school storytelling, and the kids that were teenagers that were influenced by American Beauty wouldn't like it. Okay? Yet, in order to make something that's a really good story, you have to be subversive. The Dark Knight is subversive. Okay? That was about the United States of 9/11. Okay? Remember at the end, Gary Oldman says, he's not the hero we want, he's the hero we need. That, when you see Batman and he's sitting in the rubble of that hospital, that looked like the World Trade Center, and that was meant that way. When Michael Caine says, some men want to see the world burn, he was basically speaking to the nihilism the callousness of A, the terrorists, and B, to the culture itself, because that's where it was headed. And now we're, I think, on the downward spiral, because I think we've reached peak woke, and now I think people are like, fucking quit it anymore. But I gotta go because I gotta get ready for this. 10 after 4, we record it, and then it gets published in the tomorrow in the morning. So I'm gonna be on Drinks with Dee Dee. Yes, there are at least 3 to 4 new Disney Star Wars TV shows being filmed. I don't think we know any of their titles, and I don't think any of them were mentioned in the TV in the presentation in December, because I don't really see, and I think it all has to do with the Favreauverse. I think Jon Favreau is holding a lot of stuff back. I'm going to leave you with this, because I've been talking with people about going to Star Wars Celebration. I really want to go, and I got to figure out a way to get my husband to let me go, and I'm not going to let you go, no. It has to do with money. $1,000 a night, tickets, hotel room, and I'm not staying at a shithole. I'm going to stay at like a JW Marriott or some place with a nice restaurant and bar. So after the day's festivities, I can go and sit at the bar and have a drink and eat. Okay. Nice gym, this and that. You know, but if I can go, I am going to get a hold of Coach and Nick and a bunch of other people from Echo Base, and I want to put together just meet someplace at a bar. We really don't even need to get the place to ourselves. Just a place. This is where it's at. We're all going to meet at 8 at this tiki bar somewhere, okay? And just go out and hang out and actually talk to the people you talk to every day on Facebook and on YouTube, okay? And, maybe we could do a live, Echo Base could do a live stream with all of us, and maybe Cameron could show up and say hi. That would be cool. Get a bunch of the California peeps that we know to show up. I think that would be a blast. And maybe if Doomcock shows up, maybe he'll come. Of course I have to wear his mask. Anyway, I gotta go, and I'll see you guys later. I gotta get ready for this. Gotta let the dog out and open out that bottle of wine and let it breathe. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. And you guys, yeah, they are from Florida, but I know Nick said he's going. If Coach does, then we have to get together and do something. Anyway, Steph, I'll see you around the galaxy. And there's just stuff going on with Lucasfilm. And to everybody, they're still filming Indy 5. There has been no delay. Fucking quit it. See you around the galaxy.